Good evening.
Hey.
Everybody out there in everywhere land, thank you again for joining Paranormal Brew on a Wednesday evening. Which in January I have to say is going to start to go to 8:30 instead of 7:30. That's it. But other than that, we should introduce my these are my I mean I think it's safe to say you guys are my friends now. I mean I love you guys.
Of course.
Awesome.
We're family.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Just for people that don't know you guys, I mean, let's talk about Mike and Matt. I mean, I call you Danger, but we'll say Mike because Mike's up. But and and just how Sector 12 Paranormal came together, Old Columbus Inn, all of it. I want to know.
All right. Well, I'm Mike. I used to be a co-owner of a different paranormal team, and we were given exclusive rights for the Columbus Inn itself in Columbus, New Jersey. Matt was one of our investigators that came on, and at some point there came a time where we I think in any scenario you could almost hit like a glass ceiling. And on its current trajectory, I don't believe that it was really going to go anywhere, right? So we decided to kind of branch off. I really at the same time, I had no plans on joining another investigations group or anything like that. I was kind of in a limbo phase, really trying to figure out who I wanted to take over the investigations for the inn and keep that going. And
you weren't going to do the investigating? You were just going to kind of...
So I was going to kind of take a step back and really just kind of manage and facilitate, right? So I had a long talk with Matt, and he was forming his own group at the time, and I got to tell you, I've been alongside many different professional paranormal groups, and this has to be probably one of the most professional ones that I didn't mean to phonetically sound that out the way I did just now. Really, really top notch, and there's no room for bullshit, and that's really kind of where I think that a lot of investigation teams go, is just there's just a lot of fluff, and I don't think that you kind of lose the respect for what you're doing when you add the fluff. And but I like so for Matt, they formed Sector 12, and for a minute there I was just kind of facilitating, finding places for them to go and letting them have exclusives to the inn, and to now, like, where I'm in basements and shit with them. So it's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I'll let Matt talk about that.
And don't leave out the most important part. You have served our country. So I want to...
I am a combat veteran.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
I like to, anybody that I know, they come on my show. I am a huge patriot. So, and then everybody knows that for our military. So I always want to make sure that is out there,
Absolutely. Go Army.
Yeah. Yeah. By By the way, I was at that game.
I saw. I was a little jealous.
Amazing. Um, and I have to just say really quick, I investigated with Sector 12 Paranormal recently at Burlington County,
Atlantic County.
I'm sorry, Atlantic County Courthouse,
Mm-hmm.
and it was very professionally done. There was nothing that made me cringe, nothing that I was like, like everything was done very well. From the beginning to the end. So kudos to you guys. I really enjoyed investigating with you guys. Um, so they are a good group to investigate with, or have come investigate your place.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
they will allow me to tag along. And I was
Definitely.
gonna say that I think that type of I don't know, the way you see things and how you view things about the bullshit, and how you guys are professional. I mean, partly that is, I will say, I will go on record for the first time ever saying, okay, there is something good about Jersey and being born and raised in Jersey, or being raised in Jersey. You kind of get that. It kind of gets into your
Yeah.
a little bit. You just got that Jersey, like, listen, we're not fucking around.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this
Yeah.
is how it is, and this is what we are. There's no BS.
Yeah. So yeah, Matt actually could probably go into a little bit more detail on the formation of the group and kind of like what they're
Yeah,
about.
for sure.
Okay, so like when I knew Mike from the other group, and when that all fell apart, when I just kind of folded up and started creating my own with my wife, a few of the members that had started, being that they were military background as well, it made like 3/4 of the team, you know, Air Force, Army, another
Which
Air.
I love.
So I do something more or less military name, because I was kind of making tribute to the team in like kind of that fashion. So I mean, I only married into it, so I'm kind of like half and half there. But
No, you're serving too, right? Don't they say that family serve
Yep.
too?
Yep.
So thank you.
and then we kept Mike facilitating, and I knew he kind of wanted, spoke of getting out of it, so I didn't really ask him off the cuff. I just kind of was like, all right, throwing a couple locations at us, and I kind of I talked to the group about it. I'm like, I know Mike said he's giving it up, but I said, would you guys so everybody was kind of like, well, we'll wait till Mike says something to jump in. So we kind of kept him at bay, and he was just kind of, hanging around, and, like he was talking, he's like, so am I a member or what? I'm like, well,
I've learned that, like, Mike doesn't talk that much.
Yeah, we call him
yeah, like I went home on my way home from the courthouse. I'm like thinking to myself, I'm like, I like talked a lot. I was like, I wonder if Mike's one of them guys that like just likes to sit in a dark place and and everybody shut up and just not and see what happens. You know what I mean? And see if you can hear anything or see what happens. Or I just I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, you did. You sent me a message like, I hope I didn't talk too much during the whole thing.
I forgot I did that. I was so serious. I was like, did I talk too much?
Yeah, I remember that conversation, Matt. I remember what were we at we were at my bonfire. We were somewhere, and I was like, so I don't even know, am I part of the team or not?
Yeah, we're standing on your front stoop, and we're getting ready to leave, and then Lori said to you, was like, well, remember the day you made your own shirt because we had to get it together? We were like, kind of like, that was like your own, like, smashing a bottle of wine on the boat kind of thing. So
there's your invitation. Make your own shirt. my garage sweatshop.
No, I think it's awesome. And you know what? Like, even being with you guys, like, you can tell everybody respects each other, everybody trusts each other, everybody is on the same page. You guys all have the same goals.
That's huge.
Everybody seems very like, accepting of investigating ways and stuff like this and that,
Mm-hmm.
which is big. There are so many different ways to investigate, to find a group that just jive together and make it work. Like, you know what I mean? Like, everybody likes to do the same things, is a good thing.
Absolutely. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy being being a part of it. And I really enjoy going to these investigations. It's kind of like, reinvigorated it for me a little bit, going and investigating with them. It's been a lot of fun. We've been to a lot of really cool places, man. And we actually have exclusive access to 2 places now, and
Good.
3 actually, 3. And
That's
it's
awesome.
it's really,
that feels
yeah.
good.
Well, it's the trust thing too, right?
Yes.
Because we're also I think what, for us, we're all a little older and we're all professionals. Like, we have full-time jobs, and we all, have like, so when we're there to investigate, that's what we're there to do. We're not,
Yep.
we do bullshit in the parking lot afterwards, but like, and it's super organized. I love it. All the leadership is really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the heck was I going to say? So, okay. So let's go back a little further. When did you get into the paranormal? Both of you?
Well, myself, as young as 4 years old.
Okay. So you've always been intuitive, and you could always pick up on spirit being around and stuff like that.
Yeah, in a way, it's good and bad all at the same breath. But as I got older, I got more curious about what was further beyond what I knew. And it became, like when people, pass or whatever, like, can you find out more down the road, or does life just end? And, when you start, witnessing things and, compare them to other people's stories, and you're like, you realize you're not as alone as you think you are, so it kind of becomes like a hobby, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, for me, I've seen some stuff, right? And I've always, like, especially in the military, I joined young, at 17, and I had to get my parents' permission, and being thrown into like that, and then the wars started happening, in Afghanistan and Iraq, and seeing death up close, and really, like, kind of questioning faith and questioning mortality, right? It really kind of like pushed me into, is there something else after we die, right? Like,
yeah.
Are we just, like, kind of floating around, or are we just getting thrown in the ground, right? Like, I don't know. So,
Right.
but I'm very skeptical. It's not that I don't believe. I'm not very easily, like, I believe that there are legitimate paranormal activity and paranormal places. I don't believe that every place is haunted. And I've been to places, like, there was a comment just recently about the Bel Air house. And,
this guy, the goat. Yeah, he used to.
Jeff, right? So,
Yeah.
We went to the Bel Air house, and I've been there, and I fell asleep in the attic, and it was, like, nothing happened. It was like the most uneventful night really ever.
And
not saying that place is not active. It just was not active for me.
Right.
So I couldn't say it. I couldn't, say, oh, that place is I can't say it just because everybody else is saying it.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'd love to go back. I definitely want to go back.
Yeah.
So, like, being a part of a team, Dirty Jersey was the first. I hate even saying the name. Was the first team that I was ever, like, a part of. But in Sector 12, now they're not getting rid of me.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't know what just happened. That was weird.
We said Dirty Jersey and your lights went out.
Yeah.
Nice.
But so the paranormal stuff is fairly new for you.
Investigating wise, yes.
Okay. You've always had an interest, always had a.
Yeah. I've always been interested. I watched all the shows, and oh, thanks, Lori.
So I first met you guys when I came out, April, my bestie, little bestie best.
Love April.
I know, she's amazing. She asked me to come to the investigation, and I walked in, and Mike is like, I love history and historic places. Like standing in a spot where someone walked 200 years ago or was doing something completely different than, which is living life, and
Right,
and
right.
and not thinking about, you know, 200 years from now, like they just were just living life to be that and to kind of walk around in a place, and the old Columbus Inn, I mean, it has so much history.
Yeah.
There's so much history, and you guys have found so many artifacts
Oh
too
yeah.
on the
Yeah.
property while you guys have been kind of, rehabbing it. And
Mm.
I walked in and Mike just started. I mean, he was like an encyclopedia. Like to me, he was like an encyclopedia. Like just walked me from room to room and was giving me this awesome history of this place. And I was just like amazed. I was instantly hooked to the old Columbus Inn, like right then and there.
Yeah, you get that feeling when you walk in there.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see other people's faces and how they react to it. And I love seeing how that place reacts to people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Especially Matt. And Matt can tell you some very interesting stories about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's actually Matt is my expert. Him and his wife are my experts for the Columbus Inn. So
Yeah. Which I love. I want you guys to talk about this because this is like one of the main reasons why I started Paranormal Brew. I wanted people to really know what a real investigation, research, like what it really is, and it's not what you see on TV.
Yeah.
It's this, right? You guys brought this up earlier, and I had my respect level went like up even higher. Like, you guys are saying how you guys go down to the library. You guys did all this. You guys have been doing all this research to try to add up claims to whatever's taken place. You guys have found out that stuff you didn't know was true. You found out that stuff you thought was true was false,
Right.
just by being handed down.
Yep.
And to me, like that is a true researcher / investigator. That is what you do.
Absolutely. And when the team is there and everyone's really good at their own different kinds of things, right? But when we're there, we all and that's, I think we all work very well together because we can take that evidence that this team A gathered and corroborated with team B, right? And they do a very, very, very good job at putting all that together, right? So I'll let Matt go into a little bit more about that stuff.
All right, like I'll start off with like the Columbus inside of things. A lot of stuff came across as hearsay. So you get into something historical like that, you got to go with your like personal feeling first, and then you don't let the hearsay kind of disturb what your initial impact. And then with the mix of like the dowsing rods, the EMF, the K2, REM pod, we like to use a lot of different things. And then when something does happen, whether it's names that come across and they coincide with each other, or you'll get a couple different ones going off, or even like I like using the Stone Age method and using the dowsing rods. And a lot of times you'll ask a weird question and you'll get, cross for yes or go wide for no. And it answers on the pin at the same time the K2 goes off.
Right.
So, you're just like this much closer than you were before.
Right.
And when we go down to the library and we started finding out more things that took place from like the late 1600s into like the early 1800s, some of the stuff that we have already had gotten with just feelings and simple methods, they were actually things that were coming up at the library. And we were like, okay, so, this guy, John, he was actually there in the 1700s and this is what happened. Or, you go down in the basement, you have like a heavy feeling on your chest. Well, you go to find out that there was people down in the basement that they had a little argument. One guy got stabbed and dropped like a beer barrel on his chest, and he basically died. So you're getting that residual trauma. And several people that have gone down to the basement right at the foot of that landing had that same feeling.
That was me.
So it's like you start stuff you felt, found out.
Wow. And I didn't know that.
Yeah, you didn't let none of that impact your own feeling. You found it out later. So you're like, wow, me too, So that's the whole
right
part.
Now, that's the first time I'm hearing it,
Yeah, and like a lot of the other history I was told was a little offset, but when we went to the library and found out more of the truthful stuff, it explains so much more of why you get like a real depressed feeling upstairs, because that's like, where the orphanage claimed to be, and there's a lot of deaths. And of course, you've seen we had like 22 baby shoes we found on a wall.
Yeah.
So there had to be some type of trauma over the years. And then, the inn happened to be like a sponge. It like absorbed all the history, and you just got to cut the layers out of it. And some days it's real quiet and peaceful, and then some nights you get like 10:30, you get like all kinds of stuff coming through. We had the window in the front blew open one night when we were asking about a priest and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And to go find out that there was church events that took place in that building, and so on and so forth. And we all had rosary beads on except for one person.
Mm.
Well, it blew open and almost knocked that one person out. It was the only one that wasn't wearing rosaries that day.
Mm.
So was that coincidental? I mean, you don't know, but
Right.
we did have a lot of the meters that were kind of, the few members that we took onto the team that we were training, teaching them how to use certain equipment, they were all there. So that was like a real mind-blowing experience for, one of their first activities, witnessing windows blowing open like full force, almost knocking the wall. It was,
Bless you.
but yeah, that place
Oh,
is,
that's crazy. I saw a door fly open. You know what I mean? And for me, that was like the most, if you will, quote unquote poltergeist type activity that I've ever seen. Like a door flying open, like boom, hitting the wall, flying open. So to see something like that, I know it can get it can be a little alarming, even for a seasoned investigator. They would say that.
Right.
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 But yeah, like I am not a psychic medium by any means. I'm an investigator. So, the only thing I do say is like I can hear sometimes, like I can hear answers. So when I went downstairs in the basement, somebody else, there was a couple people I was with, I don't remember who, but they were saying that they were getting feelings like further back. Whereas for me, when I first went downstairs in that first little alcove right there, I was like, oh, I'm like, what? I didn't like the fit. And I normally don't react to stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the depression. But when I was in the attic, I heard with my ear a small child say, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And I said it out loud. I said, I just heard I'm scared. And then when we listen back on the recorder, you can hear it. You hear the I'm scared and hear me say that. And
yeah, which is crazy when we played that back. I mean, yeah. But you do have like super like bionic ears. You can hear things that normal people can't hear.
Yeah. And a lot of people I've investigated with more than like have experienced that, because once I know I heard something, I will stop the recorder. That's the only time my recorders stop.
Yeah.
When that happens, because I want to hear if what I heard was like legit. Because then I know, all right, I'm going to keep talking. I'm going to keep on trying to get this going.
Right.
So that place I'm totally addicted to, and I've only been there once.
Yeah. That place. And I will say that with a lot of the K2 REM pod, all of the like electrical type equipment, it is remarkably consistent at certain times and in certain spots. And so it's going through a renovation process, and there's like no electric. There's like very little electric running through there, and that's just for a couple of outlets and some lights that we have running over the top. There's nothing in the walls, but you will consistently get K2 spikes. Your EMFs will go off. You will consistently get, REM pod hits. Temperature, it fluctuates. I don't tend to lean towards that because there's like holes in the walls and stuff. But I do like the fact that you can catch that, and you can hear a voice, or you can smell sometimes you can smell things.
Yeah.
And you can feel things. And we've had rocks thrown at us
quite a few times.
More than a couple of times.
Right.
But that
So
place,
is the orphanage part of the story or whatever you guys were told? Was that true? Was that true with about a woman that was there and
see, I don't know about the woman that was there, that um if there was any kind of like, you know,
mistreatment?
yeah, I don't know about any of that.
There was a little bit we touched on, but a lot of it sounds a lot very strange. Like a lot of the records were like kind of very spaced out, and the only thing we had left to get into was like the microfiche that was like the really older, and there's more stuff that we have to go through. But
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome. If you guys ever need help looking through shit, please. I love doing stuff like that.
Yeah, I think, Matt Laurie, if you want to link up with them, separately, they go to the Historical Society.
Yes, I would love to help out with stuff like
Yeah.
that.
there's I think like 14 boxes of additional stuff that they provided for us to go through,
awesome.
and
now, when you do something like that, do you have to show them like did you walk in and say, "Hey, I'm with the paranormal group and we're doing investigations"?
I gave them. I know the lady. I know the lady that runs it, and I gave them the number, and they reached out. And listen,
I mean, but normally, like somebody like me, a Joe Schmo that doesn't know anybody at the Historical Society or at the records place.
You honestly can probably. A lot of these places are run by like older women, and they're like dying to get volunteer help to organize or to go through things. And a lot of the younger people don't want to help and do that stuff. So really, Laverne Chalua, who runs the Historical Society for Columbus, she's actually like super cool, and she will walk you through whatever.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Another place, though, that we want to talk about is the New Egypt Historical Society Museum that we have exclusive rights to currently also, which is a little bit better, especially during this time because it's cold outside and that place has heat. Yeah, that place has heat. But we've been getting a ton of great activity there. And what's so great about that is the records are all there in there. So if you get a name or you get something go off, you're there,
Yeah, it's right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because not everything, not everything's going to be easily found Google wise and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, because I'm trying to do my own ancestry, you know what I mean? And it's very difficult. So to have that right then and there when if you guys are like having stuff happening, and that's awesome. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, look, I'll take you to the yes.
There you go.
Yeah. I love doing stuff like that. Jeff, I'm not ignoring your messages and stuff. We were talking about the other, he had gone on about the Bel Air house a little bit. He wanted to know, but he wanted to know if you had anything happen, but I think you answered. You said you were only there once and
we initially had like 10 people that were going to go, and the place isn't cheap to rent, and gas at that time, diesel was spiking. So I rented this big van and we loaded up all our equipment. There was like 4 of us. And we actually ended up inviting 3 other investigators that were local to Ohio and Pennsylvania. And they showed up. They were really cool. And we all had like a ton of equipment, like all over the place. And I had just driven like 7 hours, and I don't know, you've met, but I don't know if you've had any opportunity to communicate with like some of the former members of the team, but it was just exhausting. Yeah. that ride was exhausting.
Yeah.
But we got there. We met Kirsten there, who I guess runs the place. She does like, the seance stuff there. She was super cool. Everyone associated with the place was super respectful, very professional. I just didn't get any weird feelings. I didn't get nothing happened. for me. I do want to go back. I absolutely want to go back, and I think maybe, with Sector 12, if we do go back, we could probably do a more thorough investigation, and we could probably have a little bit more interaction. What I found is if you go into a place and you don't participate, then chances are nothing's going to happen.
Right.
There has to be some sort of, I mean, you might as well walk in a room and talk to a wall, like there's got to be like some kind of give and take.
And you didn't. You just went there. You were just.
I just went there and passed out.
Said it was. You were that exhausted. You said it was exhausting.
Yeah, I stayed up till about midnight, and then like I was laying on the hospital bed they had up in the attic, right? And I just passed out. I was laying up there trying, just doing a little session and just passed out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like you make an excellent point, and it doesn't go against any location. Sometimes I feel like a lot of locations, kind of, back away from the paranormal side because they're afraid that, their story of it being haunted will go away because people will be like, I didn't find anything,
Right.
But as we all know, they don't act on cue. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Selma Mansion is one of my most favorite places.
I love Selma.
I love Selma. And I've been to Selma millions of times. And I would say of the millions of times, it just started for me to have experiences there. And that's not a knock on Selma, because other people were going, but for some reason, something was like blocking that for me.
Yeah.
And then I finally had an experience, and it was caught on my live. It was caught on live video because I was live during the investigation.
Sweet. Yeah.
Freaking awesome. It was like a clear, audible whistle right behind me, and everybody that was at the investigation was inside the room. You can see everybody, and only me and one other person heard the whistle. Nobody else heard it.
That's crazy. But the live heard it.
The live heard it.
Right.
People on the live heard it. Nice. So that was crazy, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. I had a similar experience recently at White Hill. We all went to White Hill, and I was just walking around, and we didn't even started the investigation yet. I was just walking around to take pictures, and I went all the way up to the third floor, the attic or whatever, and I could have swore somebody walked up the steps behind me. I could hear the steps up the steps behind me, and I turned around and because I was gonna say, man, this place looks really cool, but no one was there, and I was like, oh, so they're fucked. Some people are messing with me,
Right.
So I shined the light downstairs. I'm like, hey, and then one of our other team members, Eric, looks up. He's like, you okay? I was like, oh man, nobody on that side of the house. It was wild.
Isn't that
But
crazy?
then it was quiet the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, stuff like that to me is amazing. Like, I've been to Eastern States so many times, and I'll tell you what, the best time is during to do like the walking tour, just be able to walk around that place, because it doesn't matter with places like that. If you're like Gettysburg, you're there during the day or at nighttime. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen no matter what.
I need to go to Gettysburg.
We got to drag you out there, Mike.
You do, because like I thought that Gettysburg was like 6 hours away, so I never went.
No, I would die if I was 6 hours away.
My bad.
I would die if I was 6 hours away from Gettysburg. There's no way.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah,
it's funny
session. Like Gettysburg the first time. We were down like Main Street there, and it was the old militaria that used to be on a corner. Well, we went in like one of those stores, and it was my first time. I'm happy, I'm like, hey, I've never been here before. Well, we go back to the room, get ready to go out for dinner, and then I'm getting ready, and then my wife goes, you have 3 scratches down the center of your back. So when I actually had seen it when she took the picture and showed me, and then like from that point, I kept wanting to go back, because I'm like, well, if this place knows I'm here and that was the welcome I got, there's got to be something about this place. And it's so big. You could, like, we're on our 7th time going. Still didn't see it all. And it's like,
I've gone every single month at least for the last I don't know.
Yeah, you were on a roll there for a while when I saw your page.
Oh my God. I go at least once a month.
Nice.
And there's times I've gone for 10 days by myself. Just
Really?
yes. And it is like the most peaceful days of my life. Like it's just amazing, right?
Like-
And that's not saying anything against anybody that I go with, you know what I mean? But to not have to entertain and like not have to like I can just do whatever I want. I literally just walked everywhere and came up across the fire at the college and like all this stuff was happening on my live videos. Like it was like the best time ever.
That's great.
But yeah, I don't even know where the hell I was going with that.
Yeah, it's interesting too with these historic places. You know, Matt's sensitive, you know, not like emotionally, but you know, you get it. But we were at New Egypt Historical Museum, and a name came, like, you know, he just said a name out loud, and we had been in this place for hours, man. And apparently there was like this page on the door from another paranormal team that was there a while back, and you know, gave whatever findings that they had, and they just kind of like, you know, masking taped and put it on the door there. But then there's like marriage certificates and stuff inside this one room, and that room actually was pretty active the last couple of times that we were there. Tapping on the windows, and you know, the attic is pretty intense. We've had tons of experiences there, but I see a lot of this stuff is pretty drawn to Matt. Matt is like kind of like the catalyst to a lot of the things that
the beacon in their
he
chart.
is. I tell you, he is. I don't get it.
That even happened at, like, going back to the Inn again. Like, speaking about being a catalyst. Well, there was the story about a guy that used to like to go there and drink.
Oh, yeah.
So I had challenged him. I says, I bet you if I drink more than you, I said, you're paying the bill. And then the meters went off. And then, you know, some foul words came across the Phasma box that basically said something about me. So I told him, I said, all right, well, if I drink more than you, you're paying the bill. And I said, F you, Matt. So, and with that, you know, we had cat ball go off, K2, the REM pod that sits in a hallway, like where the piano is, that goes back to the old Black Horse. So I tended, I guess, to push the right buttons, I guess, if you will. But, you know, if you challenge anybody to drinking and tell them they're going to pay the bill, they're not going to be happy. And so, you know, and then, you know, the couple that supposedly the woman that fell down the steps, that was, you know, she comes through a lot. And one of the women from the brothel that came and went, well, her name's Bridget, and she's very keen of talking to me through the meters and the spirit box. And also,
she's protective of Matt there.
Yeah, yeah. She told my wife to go home so she could hang out with me, because that was Brew, and the dowsing rods were like, yes, like, so she was like, well, fine, I'll go home, leave him there. I was like, great, but yeah,
be careful what you ask for.
Yeah, definitely.
It wouldn't be the first or last time, but you know.
So now, when you're going through the historical stuff, Nick, do you ever find that the things that you pick up on are validated?
I don't want to say yes and no, but even some of the stuff that April had found, that when she went there and checked some things out, the stuff that she's seen and felt, like, pretty much matched on that end of my assumptions. And there was another guest we had that came that she was pretty sensitive. And she kind of was pointing out all these areas that not only myself, but other visitors had problems with, I guess you could say. So it just makes me feel better when somebody has something go on that I felt, or had somebody next to me, we witnessed something on the equipment. So just kind of validate, you know, so I never really put a title to anything I did. I just took it to, if it happens to me and somebody witnesses it, that's just more validation, you know, like, I never try to take claim to fame with anything, but, you know, even on account of one time Mike witnessing something I did with dowsing rods and a meter, you know, he was kind of like, oh yeah, I don't and it literally happened right in front of him. And it was like, you know, it was cool for me, but even cooler that he got to witness it. So, it just helps validate things. And
I was sitting there like in my head, like trying to debunk what was going on with these two sticks and this leader. And I'm like, he's got a battery or something like that, like something's going on. Nope.
See, that's what I was gonna say. Like, I mean, even like Mike, like your training in the military and stuff like that, you have like one up on everybody with that. I mean, you gotta pay attention to detail. You are, ears, eyes, mind. You gotta be wide. You gotta be open. You gotta be open in here, and
Absolutely.
so along with his with Matt's intuitive stuff, and then your skills, like out in the field, and this and that. I mean, that in itself is important to have on each team, I think.
And I was an analyst, so I did signals intelligence and human intelligence, and so I can read into a lot of things, and I can see logically how things can get put. So it freaks me out when I can't see it or figure it out. Right. It freaks me out a bit, but I love it. I think it's great, and I think that's the best thing that could happen is if I can't explain it, and because I mean that is kind of the definition of paranormal, right?
Absolutely. I've learned that this year, where I'm an EVP addict. Like, I love EVPs. I love I have hours of recording. Like, when we investigated, those recorders did not shut off.
Yeah, she had recorders on recorders on recorders
everywhere. So if it's a 4-hour investigation, times it by 5. So I'm listening to 20 hours of audio.
Yeah. She messaged me. She's like, I think I left one of my recorders there. She just.
I did find it. Didn't I tell you?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I was like, I found it, but there were so many. But I love that because I don't want to miss anything. I love EVPs.
Yeah.
And, even this year, that for me has taken another level, because now I'm finding that EVPs are being picked up on. So I'm finding that, and I say, when I say I'm finding, it's happened 3 times this year where, as we're listening to an EVP burst back, the questions that we're asking that don't get answers have gotten answers, but on my recorder.
Just on the recorder, not audible.
Just on my recorder. Not on the recorder we did the EVP burst on. And it wasn't on the live I was doing, but you heard it on the recorder.
Oh, that's interesting.
To me, that
is interesting.
Any class A EVP I have, like, because that I cannot explain. Because if it was anybody in the room, we would have heard it originally. We would have heard it either on the playback. We would have heard it on the live.
Right.
So it was it was one of the things where we were listening back, and I kept my recorder going. And the second time we rewound it and that question was asked, there was an answer. And the answer was intelligent to the former family that was there.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So for me, I was like, okay, that trumps any amazing EVP I've ever gotten, even hearing with my own ears like that, because to me, that's so unexplainable.
Absolutely.
At least. There might be somebody watching that can go, oh, I know how that can happen, and give me a big, long explanation.
Right.
Then it got me thinking, can they hear better via recorder like we hear better via recorder? Like, after we're listening back, we can hear, most of the time people listen back and they hear the responses on a recorder.
Right.
So when we're replaying those EVP bursts, are they hearing the questions better? Hearing it coming from a recorder.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. This is what happened to me this year. This is what's going through my head now.
Have you slept?
Which is why I don't turn my recorders off. People think I'm crazy, but it's things like that now that I'm like, okay, I validated for myself why I do what I do because of that. and it finally happened. Whatever was supposed to happen happened because I got that feeling, you know?
Yeah. 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 I always, it's interesting because you want to, when people come in and, especially newer investigators, they come in and if they don't get like scratched or a door doesn't fling shut or the drawers don't open up, they're like, oh, this place isn't haunted, you know, and they're out of there. Right. So I guess like, how do you keep them? How is it that you would keep someone engaged or even trying to find the right person to stick around long enough to be trainable? Right.
Right.
So that's kind of where I find it tough because I also have trust issues. So like new people coming in, I don't trust them right away. You know, I don't like giving people the benefit of the doubt. I'm horrible about that.
You. Oh, no, that's a good thing. That is a good thing. You have to be that way.
Well, you kind of got to earn that, right? Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
100%.
I don't treat people bad, but I think that it's, you know.
Yeah, you're standoffish to the point, and then once you start seeing how people work and function,
yeah,
I'm not going to get on that machine until I know it runs right.
Yeah, well, that's kind of where I am. Like, I'm just kind of waiting.
Yeah,
waiting for him to fuck up. You know.
Great. The next investigation I do with you guys, I'll be like, where's Mike? I don't want him to see me putting a
wrong.
In the background and just judges you. Wait for the moment to slip
That's
up.
It. Yeah.
I just want to give a shout out to Ajing. She's checking in from Indonesia. So I just want to say, hey, thank you so much. I love you. Love your support. Try recording the question on the recorder and play those while recording with another recorder.
Oh, she's got like 9 recorders going on. So those recorders asking the question, recording the question, and the answering of the other recording.
Now, granted, I do leave 1 or 2 in rooms where we're not going to be. You know,
so those have the echoes of the questions and the answers.
Or you hear the ghost go by like, oh my God, not this one again. You know. Hello. Let's see. So yeah, so that's been my new fun thing that I've come across lately is that because it's happened 3 times now. So now I'm like, you know.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. That's actually really cool.
And I have all of the I have all the recordings. I have all of them. I have the live still. I have everything. And it's just like, I don't know how to explain it.
Right. We're actually like going through a lot of the evidence from New Egypt because at some point we're going to set up a sit-down meet with the board and, just kind of give them all the evidence that we have.
Yeah.
But that's a ton, man. I mean, just going through everything is like you said, if you've got 5 hours on one recorder, but you have 10 recorders, that's 50 hours.
So here's something even more insane that you guys are going to think of. I'm really not crazy. Disclaimer. Two of them, which are like 2 of my favorites. I have to this is funny. This is why it's taking me so long. I have to plug it in with this because there's no way to get the files off. And I have to legit record in Audacity. I have to hit play and record. So if I have 5 hours, I have to let this play and record onto Audacity for 5 hours instead of just uploading the file.
You're crazy.
I said disclaimer, Mike. I'm not crazy. So you can't say it.
Okay. All right. Oh, speaking of, I did want to say this. So when we went to the courthouse and the undersheriff showed up and you're like, oh my God, those shoes, his Hey Dudes or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You got there? Aren't they the best?
They're so comfortable. They're so comfortable.
They are the best.
I was
Okay, so yeah, I didn't know who that was. That was the sheriff,
the undersheriff. Yeah.
the undersheriff. Okay.
Yeah. So he's like number 2.
Yeah. Are they not the best shoes? I just got a black pair for Christmas. I have a white pair.
Yeah.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
amazing. I
They
was in New York City today, doing the artwork and installing artwork for New York City's first ever marijuana dispensary. So I was even on the news. Also, yeah.
Which new? The New York news?
Yeah, some off, like local
See, this is what I love. Like
8th Street news,
and this is what I love. Like, I mean, just finding out about stuff like this is like also because we're already bros. Like, we already have the same, we're like-minded, right?
Yeah.
And and now it's like, okay, now here's all the other layers that you peel off with when you get to investigate with
the
people
onion.
you become friends with, you know what I mean? And then all that other stuff is like 10 times more cool than to somebody that doesn't have this paranormal passion like we do, because the passion is what drives us. And then you got all this other cool stuff, which I think is awesome.
Yeah. Matt is really good working on like cars, and he's also really good. He helped me build like a secret armory door that hides all my guns from the feds.
Wait, I was like, oh my God, really? I want one. Like,
there you go, Matt.
Oh my gosh, I wish. So have you guys been to the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash yet?
No.
No.
I've never been to Gettysburg.
Okay. I'm so disappointed, Mike.
Well,
I didn't know you've never been there.
I've never been there.
All right, so you got to look up the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash. You guys got to go. It is held by Pam and Steve Barry, and they it's a weekend long event, and they have people come, vendors all from, but it's paranormal and all kinds of stuff. But it benefits wounded warriors, and it goes to children with terminal illnesses. Like, all the money goes towards stuff
cool.
That. Last year we raised over a little bit $18,000. So
that was held at the Wyndham.
Yes, at the Wyndham. Yeah. So Steve has a guy that does like cars and stuff like that. Like, so I think it's cool that like you should like go there and hook up, because he does like those he airbrushes.
Oh yeah.
On cars, right?
Yeah.
And like he did a 911. You should see his 911 Mustang that he did. He literally took photos from 9/11 that day. Wow. And airbrushed some of the people that were in some of the photos and stuff.
Oh wow.
Did a tribute to our military, did a tribute to the police on it, did a tribute to the firefighters. Cool. Amazing. They did a big ceremony about it this past year when he first got it, and it is amazing. But
I can't do stuff like that. But I can vinyl wrap the shit out of stuff. Right? I can wrap a car. You see a big old dragon on the side of my car?
I know. I love your car. You did that?
Yes, I did that.
You didn't say that.
I didn't airbrush it, but it's vinyl.
No. It's awesome. I'm like, oh my God. You guys gotta go. You would love it, because it is very military. You know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
It's a good call, and even with the terminally ill stuff and everything, like that money helps out a lot of people.
What? So is it around 9/11 every year?
No. It's not around. It's not 9/11 based. It's just that they do a lot of stuff to like at the event. They'll do a lot of stuff to honor military and people that have died and stuff. And
right.
So 9/11 last year was kind of like the theme, because it was kind of close to 9/11, but I feel like it was like had something to do with the theme of last year. But he has 2 cars, one, and they've been redone to salute veterans and all that kind of stuff. So it's awesome.
When is it
This year, it's July 13th, 14th, 15th. Well, we go Thursday because anybody that goes Thursday, like there's always like a party on the patio. Everybody kind of just mingles on Thursday night.
Ooh.
But it's really Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know.
Okay.
But
July is gonna be hot.
I know. I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna love it. And they're having it's Christmas in July is the theme this year. So
Ooh.
everybody's gonna be running around, for the party. I don't know if they're gonna do it Friday night or Saturday, but they have like a Christmas party, so everybody dresses up in their best Christmas garb.
Well, like a costume party, or
I don't know. I get or a Santa suit. You know how like sometimes they do like the bar crawls or like the Santa crawls and stuff like
I'm
that.
Asian. I can't pull off Santa.
Oh my
Matt
God.
can do it.
And
Matt can do it.
be an elf.
Oh, that's racist.
Come on, Mike. We like the Gilligan and Skipper. We got this.
Be Will Ferrell.
We got this.
Be a reindeer.
Be like a little Rudolph.
You can be the Grinch.
You got it. We can do that. Or Krampus. I can be Krampus.
That'll work.
And then me and Matt can like stage a battle on the battlefield. Krampus versus Santa.
Wow.
He's got a little edge
Live on Paranormal Brew.
Yeah. Eric, the elf onesie. Yeah.
Oh my God.
He'd be your tag partner, bro.
Elf onesie. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys gotta check it out. I mean, even if you just go for like the weekend or something like that. But
that would be
there
cool.
isn't hold on. There's an ugly Christmas t-shirt contest. Oh, okay. Yeah, it'll be on the website, like the stuff that they're doing.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. Absolutely. I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, that might be something to get into there, Mike.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And that's another one that I go to, but I also help work it and everything. Like I love helping people with paranormal stuff. I love helping people with events, investigations. It's great to be an independent, because you just do, you're just like, so I think it's cool. And I was very honored that you guys asked me to come along for that investigation. So,
well, you're more than welcome, I think.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Let's see. Northwest Paranormal. Hi, what is up? What's up? So what's coming up for you guys?
So actually, in January we have Nightmare Arts, a seance in downtown Mount Holly, and then we have the shop right across the street. Same night, we're gonna investigate that shop as well. It's a lot of history than downtown Mount Holly there.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess one of the most haunted houses. You hear the term. I don't know if it's coined or anything, but one of the most haunted houses in New Jersey is actually on the same street there. It was like the Boyd House or something.
I believe that was the
name of it. But the lady that runs the shop there doesn't want anybody to she doesn't want to be associated. She doesn't want to be associated with paranormal stuff.
Paranormal. And that sucks because there could be so much money made for that place to help keep it up.
I think also, sometimes if you get like a subpar team, will just ruin it for everybody else. They go in, just rub the owners the wrong way.
Yeah.
And that sucks because we actually had a really good opportunity recently, and I think it's going to get ruined for every paranormal team in the future for this one location. But we also have Burlington County Prison, or the Mount Holly Jail.
Yep, I just did it. We just did it. It was awesome.
Yeah, so we have that. We have my house.
Yeah.
Which is I don't know if I ever showed you. Yeah, my house.
You live in?
Yes, that I live and sleep in.
Yeah, the danger zone.
The danger zone.
Wow.
Yeah, I've caught some stuff here. I actually had Matt and his wife brought over the like biggest fucking log of sage. It was bigger than this like tube of
Yeah.
you know, and I'm walking around the house like, you know, trying to sage my house. Just some shit was going on. But yeah. So we have that. We got invited to do Hell House or the Waldorf Estate in March. I don't. I think we're gonna try and push to see if we can get some home investigations, some private home investigations. So we're really gonna hit that soon. Put out a blast.
How do you handle private homes?
So yeah, us as a team, we haven't done one yet.
Like I've done them by myself years back before I was even on a team, and it was basically feeling things out and then having things basically come through, because it's like, to me, if something's left behind, it's either try to find, if something's there, you know, let it go, or sometimes people just want to know if their family is still behind. Mm-hmm. But as a team, like me and Mike talked quite a few times, and several other members of the team, it's always like you want to get into it on a respect level first. Mm-hmm. Find out what the people's regular home life is about. And if anything changed that maybe altered the activity, or if they started tinkering with something a little darker, and then it started happening, because then it's like you're bringing that in yourself with, you know, anything like drugs, narcotics, or something like that. And then they're like, oh, all stuff started happening. You know, we're not going to get into your personal now at this point. You know, then it's not really, it couldn't be supernatural. It could be all this other stuff that they're doing and they're thinking something's going on. So, and then, you know, like basically case evaluations.
Absolutely. Yep. You have to.
So I know that when in my other paranormal group, what we were initially doing, and we've had a few private home investigations, when someone would reach out for a home investigation, we would bring them into the office, put them on video, basically just kind of interview them about what's going on. We go back, rewatch the video, take notes, and then me and one other person would go to the home, kind of do like a little scouting thing, leave a camera up, go back the next day, grab it, you know, go over that, see if we could find anything or hear anything. And then we would bring the team out if we thought it was a safe environment. There have been some houses I've been to that have been like, you know, you come out, all your tires are your car's on bricks and your catalytic converter's gone, right? That you don't, in those kind of neighborhoods, you just kind of want to, you know, it's difficult. It's very difficult. But I think for us, we also spoke about with prioritizing if any kids are involved. You know, we want to make sure that
absolutely.
Yeah, we're going to do right by them, especially.
I always say, you know, I've been doing this a long time, and I always say that, you know, any private home that you do not have to investigate, that is a successful case.
Yeah.
If you help a family without doing an investigation, I mean, you win. You know, they win, you win. You know, and that's the biggest thing. I haven't done that many private homes in a long time. It's been maybe about 2 years, maybe a little less. You know, cases have come to me, but we were able to help without doing an investigation. You know what I mean? But it's one of the things I miss, because I love helping people. I've been in the medical field my entire life. Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I also notice, that people that are truly passionate about this have a, you know, a servicing type of an outside life of the paranormal, you know, whether they are, you know, military, police, parapsychologists, you know, people that help people in some way in their everyday jobs or whatever. You know, you're also kind of helping people, you know, so you get like that double reward with the private houses.
Right.
You know, when you can help. And if
when
you
can help,
outsource it, you know.
It's also good for you to be, you know, realistic as well, right? So, you know, none of us are licensed therapists. None of us are drug counselors. None of us are, you know, right. It's we went to one house one time, and we actually found used heroin needles, right, and drug baggies, and we were like, we just wrapped it up, took everything, and left, and was like, we can't help you. Like, there's nothing I can do with this.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. We get it. If I get somebody interested, I do not push it. They have to do all the initial work because they have to want the help, right? And they have to want it. So in return, they get a 52 question questionnaire, and they have to fill it out.
Yes.
They email it back. I go over it. I call them. We go over it again.
Yeah.
And then set up a time, and me and someone else. I won't go by myself ever, but I'll go with at least one or two other people. And I call it a prelim. You sit down at the table, go over it again. You do the walkthrough, because I have caught so many times, where answers are different. I mean, one time, and I always make sure it is the homeowner is allowing for this to occur, because you will find people will do it behind spouses' backs. They don't want them to know because they don't want it happening. Everyone has to be on board. You can't go in without everybody on board.
Right.
Yeah. Because God forbid there is something there. You're just going to feed that, whatever that is,
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
So private cases are definitely the work side of this. The haunted locations are the fun play side, and it's awesome that you guys, do both. And I think it's safe to say that, you're a good group to refer to in New Jersey for investigations. If anybody knows anybody outside of the state, and want to refer to somebody for private cases in New Jersey, Sector 12.
Absolutely.
Right. And I look forward to working with you guys again. Yeah,
like I said, anytime.
You guys are awesome. I love the whole military thing. I love it, love it, love it. And I know you went through some shit, but you have no idea how much I appreciate what you did. So thank you for that. Cats, yes, have high sensitivity. Yes, she wants to play fetch. That's why she is outside the door yelling at me. She has one of her balls, and she wants me to play fetch with her. She does play fetch. I throw it. She goes, gets it, brings it back. We do it for hours. I'll be sitting on the couch and just picking the ball up and throwing it down the steps. She'll bring it back. So, somebody's asking, has anybody ever investigated Clinton Road?
Yes. As a matter of fact. Although I wouldn't. So I've been to Clinton Road with other investigators. So let me throw in a little context here, right?
So for anybody outside of the state of New Jersey, there's a road called Clinton Road that's supposed to be very haunted, and people go to it.
Yes.
I have not been.
I have. I didn't really get an opportunity to experience anything there, but I've been there. We had a couple people on our previous team that went with me, and I think we were there for 10 minutes, and they were like, "Oh my God, we got to get out of here!" And like they jumped in the car, and like I rode with them.
Yeah.
Like,
no. Okay. If anybody I'm with runs, I'm running. That is, I'll ask questions later.
Right, but here I am. I got my Kevlar and my fucking PVS 14, my night vision. I'm ready to go, and
the Mission Impossible music's playing.
That's right. And in my head. And nothing was going on. And I'm like, what are y'all running for? That happened on multiple occasions. So Clinton Road, we've been to the Leeds house.
You believe in the Jersey Devil?
Nope. No. Do I believe that there's some shit out in them woods? Sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I don't believe in a bat deer.
I don't. I don't believe in it either. I will say
I think it's something Native American cursed to the. That's just my opinion, but
there was a lot of Native Americans around that area for
'cause,
sure.
you know, being from this area such a long time, and you know, messing around out in the woods, you know, between younger ages and the driving ages, out there driving around, there is some like really weird, unexplainable. You know, whether it's at the tops of the trees, like big shadows that like jump from one side of the.
Absolutely.
You just don't know what it is, and that's
Yeah.
the. You know, you're not gonna say it's a fat deer like Mike said, you know, but
Yeah, I don't. I just don't. I don't believe. I don't.
it's just
I think that a woman had a deformed child, and back then they would hide these kids. They wouldn't let them outside, and I think like a legend started that the kid somebody saw it and it had pointy ears, and then
Right.
over time the story just grew, and all of a sudden now it's a bat dog,
Yeah. Right.
right?
Right.
I mean,
Right.
honestly, I'm not saying that cryptids don't exist at all. I'm not saying that. I've never seen one. I've
Right.
never had an experience. Somebody's asking Bigfoot question mark.
Yeah. So that, I mean, that's another one, right? So it's
Yeah.
a Bigfoot, the Loch Ness monster, right? Nessie, and
I will say this. I would rather run into Bigfoot than any of the people that live in those woods in the Pine Barrens in the state of New Jersey.
yeah, you probably safer that way, yeah.
Yeah.
If I had a choice, if somebody said you can run into Bigfoot or you can run into a piney, Bigfoot. Thanks.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Wrong Turn? Bigfoot.
But I can't tell you if Bigfoot exists, but I can tell you that pineys exist. Right.
I don't know Ringwood Manor. Is that in New Jersey?
I don't know. Yeah, I've never heard of Ringwood Manor.
Yeah. Hey Brandon. Taryn, when they were digging the foundation for my house, arrowheads were dug up. Yeah. Oh, she lives in that area. So
Right.
yeah, I know it's Native American. Those woods, the Pine Barrens, Echo. My first paranormal thing I ever saw in my life was at Atzion Lake in Echo.
Oh yeah.
Underwater. And I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know that until I got into the paranormal and had training. You know what I mean? I had no idea.
Did you see underwater?
It was insane. I can still see it. It's clear as day. But so Atzion, and interesting enough, there's an Atzion cemetery. And the cemetery, I can pick out, like, if somebody showed me headstones, like I was like in a class one time and they were showing headstones of like, this was when orbs became not a thing anymore. And we were training and he was pointing out the difference between, dust and, this and that. And I go, oh, is that Atzion Cemetery? He was like, how the fuck did you know that? I don't know. I know that cemetery. But anyways, it's cedar water for one.
Right.
I was waist high. I saw a dollar bill in the water. I don't know how I saw it. I just remember seeing money, and that's why I went underwater with my eyes open to get this money. And it is cedar water, so it's like this reddish dark water. So it's real hard to see,
Very familiar with that scene. Yep.
As I went to grab this dollar, coming at me at a high rate of speed, it looked like a boy with black hair. I remember kind of seeing red, so I was thinking he had red shorts on back here, and I remember his nose was so wide. It was so wide. So it looked odd to me, I remember. And maybe I was only like 6 or 7, so maybe that's just how it perceived to me, like underwater, maybe. I don't know.
Right.
But I remember his nose being like out to where like the cheekbones would go. And he was coming at me, and I jumped back, choked on water, and was just like waiting for him to come up to say, sorry, I didn't know that. I thought that was his money. Like, now here's rational brain, like not knowing anything and being stupid, right? I was like, oh, I didn't know. I didn't see anybody in the water. I waited. Nothing. Nobody ever came up. Nobody ever came close to me. Nobody ever passed me. Nobody went. There was nothing.
As you started telling this story, Taryn, at like you were like maybe an hour 13 on the time, you actually had some sort of like anomaly over your head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like went from like your shelving or whatever area, like to your other side.
Oh wow, I'll have
Like,
to go back and look.
yeah, you started talking about going underwater and seeing this boy in red like come toward you. It like kind of passed over your head. So you might want to look at that later on.
Definitely.
Yeah, I used to go fishing there a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, really? My
Kayaking,
mom used to
fishing.
take us there every weekend. We would go every weekend. And that was
Yeah.
the only time I ever saw anything there like that. And of
That's
course,
wild.
it took me like 20 something years to like for that to like jog back
Right.
and go, oh my God, I remember this. That was weird. You know? So yeah, that Batstow and the village and all. I love going back there. I love it.
Yeah.
But I don't believe in the Jersey Devil. Not quite sure where we're going with that.
Yeah, no, I don't either.
I have gone Bigfoot hunting once, and something weird did happen, but I've never had any experiences with anything like that.
It's the woods, man. It's like the ocean, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like,
Yep.
I've been in deep woods before where, we heard nothing. Like, it was so quiet you could hear your heartbeat. And it's not supposed to be that quiet.
Right. That
Right?
happened to me when I went Bigfoot hunting.
There's all sorts of stuff, but it was like, and use the term dead quiet. Right?
Yeah. No, not even like leaves rustling, like nothing.
Yeah, and that, to me, that's scary.
That was like, I was in the woods one time and like you said, dead quiet.
Yeah.
Like it was me, my one friend, and my brother, and it was maybe like 9 o'clock at night, but it was like so still there wasn't even a cricket or anything.
Right.
But this shriek, it was not. I've hunted in my lifetime, so I know a lot of different animals. So this noise that came through, it was like almost, it was like so reverse vocal. It wasn't human. It wasn't a rabbit. It was just so unexplainable. Like our hair stood up on our arm, and it was like late July.
Yeah,
we all looked at each other and we ran like full speed. We're like, we're done. Whatever that was,
yeah.
We had the woods hold a lot of weird.
Yeah, you don't know. It's just like the ocean. Like, get out. I can't.
Right.
Like the thought of like being in water where you can't see land and it goes like people are like the bottom is 700 miles down. I'm like, how do you wrap your brain around that?
Yeah.
700 miles down is the.
I don't think it's 7. I think the deepest part of the ocean's only like, I don't think it's 700 miles.
Well, I know. I was just throwing a number.
That's pretty deep.
That's real deep. I wonder how I can't because I'm live on TikTok, but I wonder how deep the deepest part is.
So the Marianas Trench, I think, is deeper than Everest is tall. Right? So, but I don't think, it might be like a couple of miles. I don't think that I don't know. Man, I could be wrong too. Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up right now.
Yes. Blair Witch type stuff. See, here's the thing. I don't get scared going to Atzion Cemetery or walking around the mansion and stuff like that. I don't get nervous there. I wouldn't go in the woods by myself for sure.
Yeah. 2.3 miles.
That's it?
Yep.
No.
Yep.
How many feet is that?
That's what Google says. 31,000 feet.
Okay. All right.
Wait, I could hold on in feet. Maybe that's not even right.
That can't. I feel like why do they need all this heavy machinery?
36,161 feet.
So the deepest part of the ocean is only 2.3 miles.
Yep.
I'm freaking out for nothing.
Yeah.
2.3 miles is far.
That's very far.
Never mind. I'm kidding. I was rightfully freaking out. Never mind. I just thought about how long a mile is.
Yeah, go try and run one real quick. Too far.
Because I watched there's a show I've been watching where they're doing like some Bermuda Triangle. This guy is trying to find all everything that's gone missing in Bermuda Triangle. So he's been recovering like military planes have gone missing.
Oh, cool.
Such a cool show. I'm like, I'm so jealous. Like, how do people get to do this? Such cool shit.
Yeah,
although,
be sick. I can't do that.
Although I would not be going down. Sorry. Nope. I'll be on the boat waiting, but I would love to be able to do it, but
yeah.
Where's I don't know where I was. Oh, so the Bermuda Triangle even is like a totally crazy thing.
Yeah. That would be it'd be interesting to explore.
But so like, can you imagine going like they use this? That's what I was saying. They use this equipment to go down so that they don't get crushed, so that they don't, you know what I mean? Like they don't like. I'm like, oh, and they only have like when they get to the bottom, they only have like 3 minutes they can be down there.
Yeah, I think it was like saturation diving or something like that. Like it's not even oxygen that they're breathing down there; it's something else.
Oh my God, who does this? April, you are brave. Holy good God. I wouldn't do it. I'd be too scared. Honestly, we don't know. The ocean is huge. Oh, that's right. They did. Yep. It's a good show, to be honest with you.
God watches all the good shows.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well, I've had you guys for like an hour and a half almost.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining, but I'm just saying. I thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
And anytime you want to run amok in like Batstow or Atzion, let me know because I do love going there. Atzion Cemetery is amazing. I've gotten Class A EVPs from there. I love it.
I don't even know where that's at. Is that across from Atzion?
Yeah, so kind of, it's like diagonal, and then it's called Grace Bible Church because it's still an active church, like it's still an open church,
right?
But you can just go there. The last time I went there, this shit only happens to me, right? I'm there, some guys like beating on drums, like. I know. I gotta go now. I can't. This is weird. This is a horror movie waiting to happen. I'm out.
Yep.
So yeah. Yes, Atzion on Route 206. Yep. There's a mansion back there. There's and then the cemetery's next door, and the church, and then that lake across the street. There was something in that lake. I can still see it.
That's interesting.
So thank you so much. Thank you guys for coming on, and I'll have to have you guys on again. We'll have
Absolutely.
to be back on like next year after you've been to some things. Or I know I want to come to Old Columbus Inn, and I want to walk around and do.
Let's go.
I want you to show it off and tell the history stuff.
Yeah. So right. So when it warms up, we'll warms up a little bit and let them get a little bit of the renos done. But first quarter definitely next year.
Oh yeah. We'll have to plan something out for sure. So this has been amazing, Maddie. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Thank you,
Mike. It's weird calling you Mike. Danger because but it's okay, Mike. Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you guys for your service, and thank you guys for being an awesome paranormal team for sure. And investigators, thank you for doing your research and all that stuff, and spreading some love. Come to Gettysburg.
I need to go. Well, we gotta give it. Hold on, we gotta give some shout outs.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Eric, Carmela, Todd, Kelly, Lori,
Erica,
the gnome. Am I missing anybody?
Yeah, I believe that's the.
Is that you guys?
Yes, Sector 12.
Awesome. I love it. Old Columbus and make sure you guys check that out. And I mean, you guys do investigations and
yes. Yes.
And so I'm doing Hell House too, January 28th. So we'll have to compare notes.
Hey, absolutely. I was just on one of their podcasts, going over like a piece of evidence that they had.
Yeah.
Because I'm a skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's you have to. Everybody has to have some healthy skeptic.
Right.
I'm a believer, but I'm also a skeptic.
Right. Yeah, that was the good thing about our team, though, because the majority of the team that is the military side of it, where they've done plenty of years, including Mike, they were pretty much the skeptics, and they don't believe anything unless they see it up front. And then, like, that's what helps me out, because if I feel or see something and they don't really do it, and it's like, nah, it's not going to happen, then you get that one thing that happens. Because if you got too many believers and not enough skeptics, sometimes things just don't line up. And you get somebody like Mike, or even like my wife, that never really believed anything unless they see it in their face.
Yeah. See, that's what was cool. We were investigating at the Atlantic County Courthouse. The police were investigating with us.
Yeah, he was so into it.
Yeah, he was so into it. It was so cool. First of all, I have what I call blue uniform syndrome, right? People have white coat syndrome. It does not matter what's going on. I can walk in a Wawa. If I see a cop, I get like, oh my God, did I do, like, I'm like, what, did I ever pay that ticket? I don't know why. My father was a police officer. I have 2 brothers that are cops. It happens, right? So that I had to like get over that initial seeing all the police officers standing there and stuff. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, did I park straight? My lights off, like in my head, like I'm going through all this stuff, and then, calm down. But it was really cool to have, and then I got lucky. I had a military guy and a police officer. So I'm like, if things happen, they know, what's going on around you. I think that one time in the one courthouse when the cat was going off, when I was asking the question.
Oh yeah.
That's the first time that the cat's ever done that.
Yeah, that was interesting.
And
my most memorable part of that night was when I opened the thing in the basement, and I was like, oh my God, you got to look at this. And you came around the corner and you stuck your head in this hole, and these faces that were carved into this rock was like, you're like, oh, what is
Oh my God, yes. Oh my God. Those faces I wanted to go in.
You know what? If the supervisor wasn't there, they would have let us go in.
I wanted to go in there.
Yeah.
Because then I said, did we ever find out how many people were actually hanged?
No, not yet.
Remember I said, could it have been the 9? Because 9 people were hanged.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
The undersheriff said it was anywhere between 8 and 12. And I said, what if it was 9? Because of the 9 faces. And he goes, that's a good thought. You know what I mean? Like maybe somebody was drawing carving the faces of prisoners that were killed.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's crazy to me. That little passage.
I gotta post that. I think I posted that picture up on Facebook. I'll tag you in it. It's
I love shit like that. Finding wild. Like those like secret passage, even though it's not secret, but if you were just walking through the courthouse, you would never know.
Not at all.
It was like one of those like panels on the wall. You just pull the panel open and go in there. Here's 9 faces staring at you that were carved into what is that, clay? Cement?
Yeah, it's just rock. It's really weird, man. It's really because and they all look like electrical panels. So it's just that one electrical panel that you pop off the wall. These faces are like right there next to you.
Yeah, that was so cool. That was cool.
Yeah.
And as soon as you said that, I was like, can I? And then I was like, can I go in there? And they're like, no, you can't go in there. I was like,
right.
But it was cool. We did have fun. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was great. Good time.
Yeah. I will let you guys go. I'm sorry. I keep talking and babbling. That says, Mike, we will get overwhelming evidence and orbs with.
On orbs? No, Todd. No.
Yeah, we actually got, real quick before we hang up, we're going over video evidence today of the New Egypt Historical Society.
Oh,
and
awesome.
One room, Mike, where I pretty much had that name come to me, and remember when I was standing in the mirror trying to get something to talk back to me.
Yeah.
It was standing behind me, and then I almost accidentally knocked you out when you walked behind me.
Yep.
Well, we had so many weird like anomalies cut in and out, and when we had people or spirits were there and it had said 7, we actually caught like roughly right where the dresser is next to the bed in the mirror. You like through the duration of like maybe 2 minutes, you see 7 to 8 weird anomalies during that whole period, and it almost lines up with how many spirits supposedly answered us back.
Oh, that's crazy.
And of course the kids were watching it before they flew back to Texas, so we had like the laptop hooked up with the TV and we're all like looking at it, but you could see like they come in, cut out, come in, and then like one kind of like hovers real low to your like your lower waist area. That's kind of like when you were standing in front of me, and like does like the Nike symbol and cuts out.
Oh wow, that's cool.
So we had a lot going on with that today. We were sitting there and the kids are like, "Oh, that's not a reflection because it does like a weird pattern and takes off." So it was kind of yeah. And New Egypt has a lot going on there. So if you ever want to take a ride out,
you got to come out there with us.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be dope. Yeah,
I would love to.
That's like a new egg that we're starting to crack. So there's a lot of stuff still don't know about it yet. So that's
definitely. I'll do anytime. Let me know.
All right, we'll keep you posted on that one.
Yeah, for sure. I would love to. And what else was I gonna say? Damn it, you guys, your stories are like so good and stuff, and I'm like, so I keep thinking like I gotta say something, and then by the time it's my turn, I'm like, fuck, what was I gonna say? That's what I was gonna say. It's like because you said they were listening before. Sometimes I leave a place and it was like such a good experience that I start listening to the audio like as soon as I get in my car. I like put it on, you know what I mean? And I'm
like
listening.
Audiobook.
I know.
So it's great. Yeah.
I know. I love it. Love it. All right. I'm gonna let you guys go. And
hey, thanks for having us, Taryn.
Oh my God, anytime. And like we have to set that up to come so I can come to Old Columbus, and then
100%.
Next time you guys are going to New Egypt, please, if I can't go, the next time you guys go, don't leave me out. I really would love to check it out.
All right. Well,
and have you guys on again. So.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, guys. Good night. You guys.
Good night.